Have you ever been so angry that you felt completely out of control? When someone's words cut deep, when even a simple look or an offhand comment feels like the whole world is turning against you? In our fast-paced, high-pressure lives, it's easy to get swept away by frustration, stress, even rage. Small annoyances build up, anger takes over, and before we know it, we lose control. But what if you could remain unshaken? What if no one, no situation could disturb your inner peace? Before we dive in, let me know in the comments, what's the last situation that tested your patience? How did you handle it? There is a way. An ancient yet incredibly powerful philosophy offers the answer: Stoicism. Thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca endured some of life's greatest hardships, yet they remained calm, composed, unbreakable. Their secret? A set of timeless principles designed to help us master our emotions and take full control of our inner world. And today, you'll learn how to do the same. Before we get started, if you're serious about mastering your emotions and building an unshakable mindset, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. We're about to explore 7 powerful methods. Methods that aren't just theory, but real, actionable tools, refined from Stoicism and distilled into simple, life-changing principles. If just one of these ideas resonates with you today, don't forget to share this with someone who needs to hear it. So stay focused, because even applying just one of these can transform your life. Let's begin. What if I told you that the secret to staying calm isn't about controlling your emotions, but about changing how you see the world? This brings us to the first lesson: embracing willingness in life. One of the core principles of Stoicism, the key to deep inner peace, is accepting life as it comes. This doesn't mean we have to love every situation or pretend everything is perfect. It means choosing to approach life willingly rather than fighting against the things we cannot change. Think about it. How often do we resist what's already happening? Maybe you're stuck in traffic. Maybe you're drowning in deadlines. Maybe you're dealing with unexpected setbacks. Your first instinct? To push back, complain, feel frustrated? But does that ever make things better? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." When you stop resisting and start embracing life, even difficult moments lose their power over you. Picture this: you're washing dishes. If you approach it grudgingly, every plate feels heavy, like a burden. But if you do it willingly, with gratitude, suddenly it's just another moment of life. Epictetus put it simply: do not seek to have events happen as you want them to, but instead want them to happen as they do, and your life will go well. That's the core idea. Flow with life. Don't fight against it. Imagine being stuck in traffic. You could sit there fuming, feeling trapped. Or you could use that time, listen to a podcast, reflect on your day, or simply breathe. The traffic doesn't change, but your experience of it does. And this mindset goes beyond minor inconveniences. It applies to life's biggest struggles. When we stop obsessing over how things should be and start accepting them as they are, we free ourselves from stress, disappointment, and frustration. This isn't about giving up. It's about choosing peace over resistance. When you embrace willingness, life stops feeling like a battle and instead becomes something you can navigate with ease. Define your purpose in life. Instead of chasing small, fleeting goals, why not aim for something bigger, something that truly matters? Ask yourself, what is my vision? What kind of life do I want to create? Most of us spend our lives pursuing personal ambitions, making more money, buying more things, achieving short-term success. But here's the problem. These are just temporary milestones. They bring momentary happiness, but they don't bring meaning. A vision, on the other hand, isn't about one achievement. It's about the bigger picture. When you have a grand vision, every action, good or bad, easy or difficult, feels purposeful. Even setbacks become part of your journey, rather than obstacles to your happiness. By learning to embrace life as it comes, rather than constantly resisting it, you unlock something powerful, a deep sense of freedom and peace. The power of voluntary action. Your attitude changes everything. Think about the difference between being forced to do something and choosing to do it. Imagine being under pressure at work, struggling to meet a deadline. It feels heavy, draining, exhausting. Now, imagine volunteering for something you believe in. It might still be difficult, but somehow it feels fulfilling instead of burdensome. Why? Because you're doing it willingly. Here's the key. When you say, I choose to do this, life feels like heaven. When you say, I have to do this, it feels like hell. And this mindset applies everywhere, at work, at home, in every interaction. The next time someone tests your patience, instead of reacting out of frustration, try shifting your mindset. The power of choice in difficult moments. When someone offends or irritates you, you have two choices. One, let it control you. React in anger, allowing their words or actions to ruin your mood. Two, see it as an opportunity, a chance to practice willingness and control over your emotions. You can remind yourself, this person is acting according to their nature, but I choose not to let it disturb mine. That simple shift in mindset is life-changing. Accepting life as it unfolds doesn't mean giving up. It means recognizing what is beyond your control. And when you do, something incredible happens. The pressure fades. You stop wasting energy on things you can't change. You start focusing on what you can control. Take criticism at work, for example. You could take it personally, feel hurt, react emotionally, or you could see it as feedback, a chance to grow. Your reaction, not the event itself, determines your peace of mind, the journey to mastering willingness. This isn't something you achieve overnight. It's a daily practice. Start small. Accept your mistakes instead of dwelling on them. View challenges as lessons, not punishments. Handle daily frustrations with grace. The more you practice, the less reactive you become. The more resilient you feel. The freer you are from external disturbances. Instead of being tossed around by life's challenges, you develop an inner strength that allows you to live life on your own terms. And that is true freedom. Think about this. How many times a day do you judge someone without even realizing it? But what if I told you that judging others isn't just unfair to them? It's a burden on you. Let's explore lesson 2, how letting go of judgment can free your mind. Have you ever wondered why we feel so much anger and irritation toward others? Could it be because we judge them too quickly? Think about it. How many times a day do you catch yourself saying, "That person is so annoying. I can't trust them. They always do things the wrong way." We might not even realize how often we pass judgment. But here's the truth. These thoughts don't just affect them, they burden us. In Stoicism, one of the most powerful ways to free yourself from negative emotions like frustration and anger, is to let go of judgment. The burden of judgment. As humans, we naturally see the world through our own perspective. And when someone acts differently from what we expect, our first instinct, we label them. Imagine you're driving and the car in front of you is moving slowly. Your first thought? They're so incompetent. But have you ever paused to consider, maybe they're a new driver, or they're being extra careful because they have children in the car? The reality is, external events don't control our emotions. It's how we interpret them that shapes our reactions. How judgment fuels. Anger judging others doesn't just affect them, it weighs us down. Imagine you have a colleague who's always late. If you assume they're lazy or irresponsible, your irritation builds day by day. But what if they're caring for a sick loved one? They're dealing with personal struggles you can't see. This shift in perspective changes everything. This doesn't mean you have to excuse bad behavior, but it does mean you protect yourself from unnecessary frustration. Stoicism doesn't tell us to ignore problems. It teaches us to see them clearly without letting them control us. You always have the option of no opinion. Marcus Aurelius said it best. You always own the option of having no opinion. There is never any need to get worked up or trouble your soul about things you can't control. Think about that. How much mental peace could you gain if you simply chose not to judge everything? The truth is, no one is entirely good or bad. People's actions are shaped by their circumstances, emotions, and struggles, just like yours. Think of a time when you weren't at your best. Maybe you were stressed, exhausted, overwhelmed. Now, remember this, everyone else has bad days too. Even the kindest person can act poorly under pressure. And even the most flawed individuals can show kindness and goodness when given the chance. A simple exercise in letting go. Imagine being at a restaurant. A server accidentally spills water on your table. Your first reaction? How careless. But what if they're having a rough day, struggling with stress, exhaustion, personal problems? If you pause for just a second, remind yourself they're human. Let go of judgment. You'll instantly feel lighter. And that's the power of releasing judgment. It frees you from anger and irritation, and it makes you a more patient, empathetic person. Letting go of judgment doesn't mean ignoring right and wrong, to be clear. Letting go of judgment doesn't mean condoning bad behavior. It simply means refusing to let other people's actions control your emotions. You can still recognize right from wrong without letting negativity consume you. Marcus Aurelius put it best. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. The strongest response to negativity. Not anger, not retaliation, but maintaining your dignity and composure. How to practice non-judgment. So how do you let go of judgment in your daily life? 1. Awareness. Catch yourself in the act. When you judge someone, pause and ask, is this thought necessary? Does it serve me? 2. Perspective shift. Put yourself in their shoes. What might be happening in their life that I don't see? When you develop the habit of choosing understanding over judgment, you free yourself from frustration. You create space for a calmer, lighter way of living. Choosing freedom over judgment. When someone annoys or frustrates you, take a step back and ask yourself, what might they be going through that I don't know? Because here's the truth, everyone sees the world differently. Their actions are shaped by their experiences, struggles, and emotions. Just because someone acts differently from you doesn't mean they're wrong. It simply means they are who they are. And here's the key. Not everything deserves your emotional energy. When you let go of judgment, you let go of emotional burdens. You free yourself from carrying unnecessary negativity, allowing yourself to be lighter, calmer, more at peace. So the next time someone irritates you, say, try this. 1, pause, take a deep breath. 2, ask yourself, is this frustration worth it? You'll realize that approaching situations with empathy doesn't just make you kinder to others, it makes you kinder to yourself. At the end of the day, you have 2 choices. Hold on to anger and let it drain you. Let go and embrace peace. The choice is always yours. Have you ever noticed that the more you try to control life, the more frustrated you become? The truth is, control is an illusion, and learning to let go might be the most powerful thing you ever do. This is lesson 3, the power of releasing control. When you stop judging others, you uncover a deep truth. So much of our frustration and anger doesn't come from what happens to us. It comes from expecting others to behave the way we want. But the world doesn't work that way. People act based on their own reasons, their own experiences, often in ways we can't understand. So the big question is, do we really need to control everything to be at peace? Or does true peace come from letting go? The freedom of letting go, this is a core principle of Stoicism. Instead of wasting energy and emotions trying to control the uncontrollable, we can learn to accept life as it is and free ourselves from unnecessary stress. While you can't dictate life, you can always choose how you respond. The illusion of control. Take traffic, for example. You're running late. Cars are at a standstill. Horns are blaring. Your first instinct? Why does this always happen? Why can't people drive better? But here's the reality. You can't control the traffic. You can't make people drive faster. The only thing you can control is your mindset and reaction. You could stress out and let frustration ruin your day, or you could breathe, accept the situation, and use the time productively. Listen to a podcast, reflect on ideas, or just enjoy the stillness. This small mental shift can change everything. We tie our happiness to things we don't control, and that's where frustration begins. A mother stresses over her child's grades, but she can't take the tests for them. An employee feels frustrated with their difficult boss, but they can't change their boss's personality. When we place high expectations on things we don't control, we set ourselves up for disappointment and stress. A real-life example. I once knew a young entrepreneur. He spent years building a tech company, dreaming of revolutionizing an industry, but when the product launched, the market response was underwhelming, frustrated and bitter. He blamed customers. They just don't understand the product. He even suspected competitors were sabotaging him. These emotions trapped him, not just in disappointment, but in helplessness. But then he made a powerful shift, shifting focus to what you can control. I encouraged him to stop blaming external factors and instead focus on what he could improve. And this shift in perspective changed everything. Instead of feeling trapped in frustration, he refined his product. He adjusted his strategy. He embraced the patience that success demands. And the result? By letting go of what he couldn't control, he became lighter, more creative, and ultimately achieved far greater success than he ever expected. This is the power of Stoicism. It doesn't just change how we see challenges, it teaches us to take control of what actually matters. The key questions that free you from negativity. During stressful moments, ask yourself, is this within my control? Am I wasting energy on something I can't change? Is my reaction improving the situation or making it worse? These simple questions are powerful tools to help you release negativity and reclaim control. Letting go is not surrendering. Many people think letting go means giving up, but it's actually the opposite. Letting go isn't about being passive. It's about redirecting your energy toward what truly matters. Check your thoughts, check your emotions, check your actions. Imagine rowing a boat down a river. You can't stop the current, but you can steer the boat and navigate with skill. A practical Stoic exercise, premeditatio malorum. One of the best ways to prepare for life's uncertainties is through premeditatio malorum, the practice of anticipating adversity. Before your day begins, take a moment to visualize possible challenges. What if plans get cancelled? What if a colleague makes a mistake? What if the weather ruins my schedule? By mentally preparing for setbacks, you soften their impact and make them easier to handle when they arise. True liberation lies in letting go. Letting go of what's beyond your grasp isn't a weakness. It's one of the most powerful forms of freedom. When you stop clinging to things outside your control, you'll find an extraordinary sense of peace. Start small, rocket. Don't try to change people's opinions. Don't dwell on the past. Don't hold on to what's slipping away. Life flows like a river, and when you learn to move with its current, you'll finally find the peace you've been seeking all along. We expect people to be reliable. We expect things to go as planned. We expect the world to be fair. But what if these expectations are the very thing causing our frustration? Let's dive into lesson 4. Why embracing imperfection leads to true peace. No matter how hard we try, we can't escape frustration. We can't escape anger. We can't escape the disappointment that comes when people fail to meet our expectations. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, why do I expect perfection from the world and the people around me? The illusion of perfection. Stoicism teaches that the expectation of perfection is an illusion, and that illusion, it's what causes so much of our suffering. Think about it. Have you ever been frustrated because a colleague made mistakes that affected your work? Have you ever felt let down because a friend broke a promise or a family member said something hurtful? These moments are common, but ask yourself, is it realistic to expect people to never make mistakes? Epictetus reminds us, it is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them. The world is chaotic. Not perfect anger and frustration don't come from what happens to us. They come from how we interpret those events. The world isn't designed to meet our expectations. Instead of trying to force it to change, we need to change how we see it. A real-life example, the chaos of imperfection. Imagine you've spent weeks preparing for an important presentation, every detail perfected. But at the last minute, the colleague responsible for supporting materials makes a critical mistake. Suddenly, your entire effort feels ruined. Your first reaction, how could they be so careless? I worked so hard. But through the Stoic lens, the situation looks different. Embracing imperfection, the key to resilience. When a mistake happens, you have two choices. 1, get angry, blame someone, and make the situation worse. 2, accept reality and focus on what can be done next. If a colleague makes an error, instead of dwelling on frustration, ask yourself, how can I fix this? By accepting imperfection, you not only stay calm, but you also become more solution-oriented. The power of expecting imperfection. Marcus Aurelius offered a powerful approach to life. Begin each day by telling yourself, "Today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil." This isn't pessimism, it's realism. When you expect imperfection, you're ready for it. Instead of being caught off guard, you develop the mental resilience to handle challenges without losing your peace. Transforming reactions through acceptance. Think about the everyday situations where imperfection triggers frustration. Someone breaks a promise. Instead of anger, remind yourself they're human and maybe dealing with their own struggles. You feel misunderstood. Stay calm, seek clarity, and consider that they may not have meant to hurt you. Someone is rude or critical. Ask yourself, is this truly harming me, or is it just my interpretation? Letting go of the need for perfection doesn't mean accepting mediocrity. It simply frees you from constant disappointment and misplaced expectations. Relationships thrive on understanding, not perfection. One of the biggest sources of frustration in relationships, expecting people to understand us perfectly, but even those who love you most can't always read your emotions or needs. Instead of blaming them, ask yourself, am I communicating clearly enough? This shift in perspective doesn't just reduce dissatisfaction, it also builds deeper empathy. When you truly embrace imperfection, something changes. You stop seeing flaws as obstacles, and instead, you start seeing them as opportunities to practice patience, to practice compassion, to practice understanding. Ask yourself, have I ever made mistakes? If I expect forgiveness from others, why shouldn't I offer the same? This reminder creates a powerful shift. Everyone, including you, is simply doing their best. Imperfection is the gateway to inner freedom. Seneca put it beautifully. He who is brave is free. The courage to accept imperfection isn't just about compassion. It's about achieving true inner freedom. Life doesn't have to be perfect for you to be happy. The world doesn't have to change for you to find peace. Marcus Aurelius said it best. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If you let go of unrealistic expectations, you'll discover peace amid the chaos. This isn't about settling for imperfection. It's about mastering the art of living with it. And how often do we blame others for how we feel? They made me mad. This situation ruined my day. But what if I told you no one can control your emotions except you? This is lesson 5, taking full responsibility for your emotions. Once we accept the imperfections of the world, another door opens, this time inward. Yes, the world is chaotic. Yes, people fall short of our expectations. Yes, things rarely go as planned. But must these realities disturb our peace? Accepting external imperfection is one thing, but the real challenge, learning to take control of our emotions, even in the face of what we cannot change. This raises a fundamental question. Who is responsible for your emotions? You or the outside world? Mastering emotional control, the power of choice. Stoicism compels us to confront an undeniable truth. We have far more control over our emotions than we think. Picture this. You're standing in a long supermarket queue. It's crowded. People are impatient. Tensions are high, and then, out of nowhere, someone cuts in front of you. No glance, no apology, Instantly, irritation rises. You feel disrespected. But at this moment, you have two choices. One, react with frustration. Mumble under your breath. Roll your eyes. Let resentment simmer for the rest of the day. Two, pause and ask yourself, is this really worth sacrificing my peace? Yes, they may have been rude, but your emotions belong to you. Why should their bad manners dictate how you feel? If you choose calmness, something remarkable happens. The irritation fades. Their rudeness no longer holds power over you. The cue is still the same, but your inner peace remains untouched. What could have been a moment of anger and frustration now becomes just another passing moment, completely within your control. Stop letting others control your emotions. In daily life, we often hand over control of our emotions without even realizing it. When someone insults, criticizes, or ignores us, our first instinct is to feel hurt, angry, dejected. But ask yourself, why? Why let someone else's words or actions decide how you feel? Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king of Rome, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." It's a powerful truth. We can't control what others do, but we can always choose how we react. A simple shift that changes everything. Imagine being unfairly criticized at work. Your instinctive reaction? That's unfair. Why would they say that? But what if you reframed the situation? Instead of seeing it as an attack, see it as just an opinion, one that has no effect on your actual worth. By taking a step back, you free yourself from the emotional grip of others. How to build emotional discipline. To strengthen this mindset, practice the power of pause. 1. When something upsets you, stop and ask, am I overreacting? Is this worth losing my peace over? 2. Use a journal to track emotional patterns. Each night write down, what upset me today? How did I react? Could I have responded differently? Over time, this practice helps you identify triggers, making it easier to control your emotions when they arise. You alone own your peace. No one can make you angry, anxious, or upset unless you allow it. Marcus Aurelius also said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. The moment you internalize this truth, you realize something life-changing. Your emotions belong to you, not anyone else. Your peace is yours to protect. Nothing can disturb you, Kai, unless you let it. If this resonates with you, reflect on how you've handled emotions in the past. What would happen if from this day forward, you chose peace over reaction? Imagine this, you're in a meeting and someone embarrasses you in front of everyone. Your heart races, anger builds up. But what if, instead of reacting, you did nothing? What if that silence was actually your greatest weapon? Welcome to Lesson 6, Mastering the Art of Non-Reaction. Life is unpredictable. Frustration can strike when you least expect it. A colleague criticizes you during a meeting. A stranger cuts in line while you're waiting patiently. Someone throws a rude remark your way, catching you off guard. At first, these small moments may seem insignificant, but if left unchecked, they build up, stirring anger, frustration, resentment. So how do we stay calm? How do we maintain our composure, even in the face of other people's actions? The answer lies in mastering the art of non-reaction. The secret to inner strength, Epictetus once said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This simple truth reveals something powerful. Your emotions don't come from what others do. They come from how you interpret their actions. Pause before reacting. Imagine being criticized in a meeting. Your first reaction might be, how dare they call me out in front of everyone? I need to defend myself. But what if, instead of reacting impulsively, you paused? What if you reminded yourself, their words don't define my worth. Their reaction is a reflection of them, not me. By choosing not to react, you protect your peace. Maintain professionalism. Hold power over your emotions. Non-reaction isn't weakness. It's the ultimate form of control. The power of non-reaction, control through composure. When faced with negativity, you always have a choice. 1, react impulsively, fueling conflict and losing control. 2, respond with composure, keeping your inner peace intact. Instead of meeting hostility with hostility, try an alternative approach. Stay composed. A simple smile and calm response can shift the energy. Acknowledge and redirect. Say, thank you for your feedback. I'll address that after presenting my ideas. That single moment of calm puts you back in control. Your colleague, instead of being met with hostility, is disarmed. And you, rather than getting caught in negativity, walk away with confidence and peace. The greatest remedy for anger, delay. Seneca wisely advised, the greatest remedy for anger is delay. One of the most effective ways to master non-reaction is to pause before responding. For example, if you receive a critical email, instead of firing back immediately, try this. Wait an hour or even a full day. Reread it later with a clear mind. Respond thoughtfully, not emotionally. This simple pause gives you time to gain perspective, to react from a place of wisdom, not impulse. The power of silence sometimes. Silence is the most powerful response. Choosing not to retaliate doesn't just protect your peace. It prevents others from controlling your emotions. There's a saying, if a donkey kicks you and you kick back, you are both donkeys. This simple truth teaches us when you react to negativity with more negativity, you lower yourself to the same level. How to master non-reaction. Picture a heated argument. Every word escalates tension, but suddenly, one person stops engaging. What happens? The anger fades. The conflict loses power. The one who remains silent emerges stronger. Self-reflection is key. Ask yourself, when was the last time I lost my temper over something trivial? Was that anger truly worth sacrificing my peace? If I could go back, how would I respond differently? You control your reactions. No one else does. Marcus Aurelius profoundly noted, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke at any moment. Recognizing this truth is liberating. You are never at the mercy of what happens. You are only affected by how you choose to respond. Non-reaction is not passivity. It's about choosing what truly deserves your attention. By practicing non-reaction, you master your emotions, protect your energy, find peace in a world full of distractions. Remember this, calmness is strength, silence is power, an unshaken heart is your greatest weapon, and this is the essence of Stoicism. We spend so much time proving ourselves, winning arguments and getting what we deserve. But what if the greatest joy doesn't come from taking, but from giving? This is the final lesson. how finding joy in selflessness can change your life. When we learn to stay calm, when we stop reacting impulsively, something magical happens. The things that once angered or disturbed us become nothing more than ripples in a stream. A new space emerges, a space to love, to empathize, to give freely. And in this shift, we discover something unexpected, the joy of realizing that sometimes the best way to protect our peace is to forgive. The simple joy of giving. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." Every morning is a new opportunity to love more than the day before, to help others without expecting anything in return, to let go of resentment and embrace kindness. Forgiveness, seen through the lens of Stoicism, isn't just about the other person. It's about you. It's not some grand sacrifice. It's simply realizing that helping others brings as much joy to you as it does to them. A real story. The power of understanding. I once knew someone who worked in a high-pressure environment. Day after day, he faced harsh criticism, sometimes unfairly. At first, his instinct was to respond with frustration, but one day, he paused and asked himself, "Is there something I don't know about this person?" Later, he discovered that the colleague who had been the most critical was going through serious financial struggles. That single realization, it changed everything. Instead of fighting back, he chose to stay silent, listen, and even offer help. And the result? Their relationship improved. The workplace atmosphere became lighter, and he felt free, no longer weighed down by resentment or anger. Selflessness brings true peace. Whether it's at work, in friendships, or within families, we often hold on to grudges, but ask yourself, is it worth it? Instead of reacting with anger, try responding with curiosity and understanding. Ask, what might this person be going through that I don't see? What if their behavior isn't about me at all? Empathy doesn't just heal relationships, it heals you. The courage to forgive. True inner freedom comes from letting go of resentment. Seneca put it simply, "He who is brave is free." It takes strength to let go of expectations, to forgive, to offer kindness, even when it isn't returned. Happiness is found in your mindset. Marcus Aurelius said it best, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." The world doesn't have to be perfect for you to be happy. People don't have to act exactly as you wish for you to feel at peace. Once you release the need for perfection from yourself and from others, you unlock something far more powerful. Peace in the present moment. Joy in selflessness. Freedom from unnecessary suffering. So ask yourself, what can I let go of today? How can I show kindness without expecting anything in return? Because in the act of giving, you often receive the greatest gift of all, inner peace, the power of forgiveness, letting go of anger. Minor disagreements can quickly spiral into major conflicts. Think about a relative who constantly criticizes you, no matter what you do. Their words might cut deep, leaving you feeling hurt and frustrated. But take a moment to consider, could their criticism be more about them than about you? Often, negativity stems from a person's own insecurities, pain, or struggles. And when you realize this, their words lose power over you. Forgiveness is not about accepting wrong behavior. Choosing to forgive doesn't mean you approve of someone's actions. It means you refuse to let those actions control your emotions. Anger often arises from expectations. We assume people should act in ways that feel correct or fair, but the world is imperfect, and everyone carries unseen burdens. When we accept this, our expectations fade, and with them, anger loses its grip. The joy of letting go. Forgiveness doesn't just free you from anger, it brings a sense of genuine peace and joy. Think back to a time when you helped someone without expecting anything in return. How did it feel? Most likely, it felt deeply fulfilling. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Practicing forgiveness isn't just about being kind to others, it's about reclaiming control over your emotions. It's a state of spiritual freedom that no amount of money or success can buy. The science of kindness and happiness. Modern research confirms what Stoicism has taught for centuries. People who regularly practice kindness and forgiveness report higher levels of happiness. Acts of selflessness and compassion lead to a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment. Forgiveness isn't just a moral virtue, it's a path to a richer, more meaningful life. A simple shift in perspective. Ask yourself, can I see the situation from their perspective? What might be driving their behavior? Practicing these questions daily can ease discomfort, dissolve anger, and foster deeper understanding. Forgiveness doesn't have to be complicated sometimes. It's as simple as being patient with someone's carelessness, rather than trying to control what's beyond your power. Shift your focus to bettering yourself. When you show kindness, see it as an opportunity to give, rather than something owed in return. Seneca beautifully put it, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. No matter where life places you, there is always a chance to extend compassion. Choose forgiveness, not just for others, but for yourself." When you embrace giving and understanding, you don't just create a better world for others, you create a lighter, more peaceful world for yourself. The ultimate path to inner freedom. We've just explored 7 powerful Stoic methods for maintaining inner peace. These aren't just philosophical ideas. They are practical tools to guide you toward true inner freedom. Embrace acceptance. Let go of judgment, release control, accept imperfection, take responsibility for your emotions. Practice non-reaction. Find joy in selflessness. If you found this helpful, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Blast off.